In part 6, we talked about sodium nitrate, how heating it transforms it into cancer-linked compounds, especially in foods like bacon, hot dogs, and deli meats. You saw how something as simple as applying heat can turn a harmless-looking food into a chemical hazard inside your body. But sodium nitrate isn't the only ingredient where heat becomes the problem. Today, we're moving into one of the most invisible dangers of modern eating: heated carbohydrates. This category includes everyday foods people eat without thinking twice: French fries, potato chips, burnt toast, crispy snacks, deep-fried starches, over-brown baked goods. We're going to break down what actually happens to starch when it meets high heat, and why this combination creates toxic compounds that damage your arteries, your eyes, your kidneys, your brain, and even accelerate the aging process. This is one of the most eye-opening parts of this entire series. Let's get into it. Most people don't realize that carbohydrates are essentially chains of sugar molecules. When you heat these sugars, especially at high temperatures, they don't just get crispy or golden brown. They chemically transform. This process is called the Maillard reaction, and it's responsible for the appealing smell, color, and taste of toasted, crispy, or fried foods. It makes fries delicious. It makes toast toasty. It makes chips crunchy. But behind that flavor and texture is a dangerous side effect: the creation of toxic byproducts. Two of the worst ones are acrylamide and aldehydes. And that's just the beginning. Let's break these down one by one. Acrylamide forms when starchy foods like potatoes, bread, or grains are exposed to high heat, typically above 250 degrees Fahrenheit. So whenever you fry, bake, toast, roast, you're creating acrylamide. This isn't speculation. This isn't a fringe theory. This is well-documented chemistry, recognized by major health organizations around the world. Acrylamide has been shown to damage nerve cells, increase oxidative stress, increase inflammation, raise cancer risk in animal studies, disrupt hormone balance, harm reproductive health. Now, you may hear people dismiss this by saying, well, those studies were in animals. Yes, but here's the important part: the mechanism of damage is the same in humans. And we consume these foods far more frequently than the animals in those experiments ever did. Think about how easily someone can eat a daily serving of fries, a daily serving of chips, daily toast, crispy baked goods, fried snacks at night. Each time, you're adding a little more acrylamide into your system. It doesn't cause immediate symptoms. It causes slow, hidden damage. Now let's talk about the second toxic compound. When carbohydrates, and especially oils, are heated together, they don't just form acrylamide. They also produce aldehydes, which are among the most reactive and dangerous compounds your body can encounter. Aldehydes damage DNA, damage artery walls, trigger inflammation, interfere with cell repair, harm the liver, accelerate aging, harm the nervous system. If acrylamide is like smoke damage, aldehydes are like a chemical spill. They are toxic at very small amounts, and deep-fried foods are loaded with them. But aldehydes alone aren't the biggest problem. The real issue is what heated carbohydrates become when they mix with proteins or fats inside your body, because that creates something even worse. When heated sugar molecules react with proteins or fats, they create AGEs, or advanced glycation end products. AGEs are some of the most damaging compounds in the human body. They harden arteries, damage kidney tissue, destroy the retina, disrupt nerve function, damage skin collagen, interfere with insulin signaling, cause oxidative stress. This is why diabetics, who naturally have higher AGEs, experience faster aging, eye problems, kidney issues, nerve damage, slow wound healing. But eating heated carbohydrates accelerates this process in everyone, not just diabetics. Every time you eat browned, crispy, or fried starches, you add more AGEs to your system. And you might be thinking, well, isn't browning natural? Yes, in cooking it's natural. But inside your body, AGEs create chronic inflammation, vessel stiffening, damage to organs that regenerate slowly. This is why high heat carbs are linked to heart disease, kidney disease, vision loss, Alzheimer's, premature aging, diabetes complications. And now we need to talk about one of the most overlooked points. Here are the most common offenders: French fries, potato chips, burnt toast, fried breading/batter, over-browned baked goods, processed cereals. French fries combine heated starch, heated oils, high glycation potential, aldehyde production. This is one of the most inflammatory foods in the world. Potato chips are heated to extremely high temperatures and also absorb damaged oils. The darker the toast, the higher the acrylamide and AG content. Fried breading/batter, onion rings, fried chicken, tempura, anything with flour plus high heat. Over-brown baked goods, cookies, crackers, pastries, pizza crust. Most cereals are heated so high during production that ages form before you even buy them. And here's something important to understand. Even if the food smells good, even if the texture feels satisfying, even if it tastes amazing, your body sees it as toxic stress. Unlike sodium nitrate, which becomes carcinogenic only when heated, heated carbohydrates produce toxic compounds by their very nature. There is no safe low-heat fried potato. There is no safe lightly browned sugary bread. Once the carbohydrate browns, the damage begins. And here's the scariest part. Your body cannot easily remove AGEs. They accumulate over time, and they lodge inside tissues that regenerate extremely slowly. The kidneys regenerate slowly. The eyes regenerate slowly. The brain regenerates slowly. The nerves regenerate slowly. So when AGEs cause damage in these areas, that damage is often permanent or extremely difficult to reverse. This is why high heat carbs are linked to long-term chronic illness. So let's recap. Heating starch creates acrylamide and aldehydes. These compounds cause inflammation, DNA damage, oxidative stress. When carbs mix with fats or proteins, they form AGEs. AGEs damage the kidneys, eyes, arteries, brain, and nerves. And the most common sources are fries, chips, toast, cereals, and baked goods. This ingredient isn't dangerous because it's rare. It's dangerous because it's everywhere, and it hits the organ systems that are the hardest to repair. In part 8 of this series, we're going to talk about seed oils, another ingredient that becomes exponentially more toxic when combined with heat, something almost every restaurant and fast food chain does daily. Get ready, because this next one will change the way you look at vegetable oil forever.